Cracking stuff. And yeah, really good performance in parts from England today. We said before the game started it was a must-win game to keep the series alive, and they did so. England lost the toss and were put into bat once again. They went with the same 11, and it threatened to be the same story. Phil Salt making 5 from 7, England 7 for 1 after only 9 deliveries. But Ben Duckett and Jos Butler both made runs today. Butler missed out, relatively speaking, in terms of this series. He only made 24 from 22 balls. Duckett made 51 though. Harry Brook 8, Liam Livingstone 43. Jamie Smith 6, Jamie Overton a first ball duck, Bryden Cast 3 from 4, Jofra Archer 0 from 2, and then Adil Rashid and Mark Wood both 10 not out from 9 and 10 balls respectively. So England posting 171 for 9, but Varun Chakaravarthy within that scorecard 5 for 24 from 4 overs bowled, his second 5-for in this format of the game. So he was a standout performer for India. So India needed 172 at 8.6 and over to win this game, but they fell 26 runs short from achieving that. 145 for 9. Samson 3, Abhishek Sharma 24, Suryakumar Yadav 14, Tilak Varma 18, Hardik Pandya 40, Washington Sundar 6, Akshar Patel 15, Dhruv Jurel 2, Mohammad Shami 7, and then the not-out man Bishnoi and Chakravarti 4 and 1 respectively. It was Jamie Overton who took the most wickets, 3 for 24. Jofra Archer 2 for 33. Mark Wood and Bryden Cast chipped in as well, 1 for 29 for Wood, 2 for 29 for Cast. Liam Livingstone 1 over for 11, and Adil Rashid bowling all 4 overs without being hit for a boundary, 1 for 15. So England victorious, and we can look back at all the action. Gareth, Batty, let's turn our attention to the fact that England won first and foremost. Been a difficult couple of games for them. It's all very well saying, well, it's a must-win game today, but must-win doesn't equate will win. England probably played their best cricket today and probably got the result from it.
Yeah, after the game you can look at it when both sides are batting on the surface and say, yeah, England were far and away the better team. They win by 26 runs, which is a relatively sizable margin in T20 cricket. You would look at it and you'd say the partnership of 75 between Duckett and Butler, you're saying it is really impressive, and it calms the nerves and it settles down that innings. But we can't get away from the fact that there were a few more runs out there from an England point of view. So there's a bit of growth in that. But the nice little cameo from Livingstone, throwing caution to the wind, I think that has to be his role, that he's just going to literally go big. Now, either side of him within this batting, we've got to find a way to scramble to maximise 2s, to maximise 1s, to maximise 3s, to get the strikers back on, to keep generating a bigger score that then you give... your opposite number doesn't have a chance. So could we have been 190? Halfway through the innings, you're saying you're on course for 190. We drop off fractionally.
Harmy's been saying through the commentary, for him, Jamie Overton is a place too high at number 7 at the moment. Harmy's thinking is, if England are going to play this brand of T20 cricket, they need another out-and-out batter. And for him, he's bringing in Jacob Bethel. Can you see where he's coming from with that? And would you agree with that?
I think you might gain possibly with an out-and-out batter from a runs point of view and a bit more method. Jamie is an out-and-out striker. And that's often been his role in different leagues and at Surrey. He faces minimal balls at the end but gets maximum output. Now England sending him up a position, possibly 1 or 2 or more balls per innings opportunity, there is a bit more thought required for it. Can you take a bit more time to then still hit the 5 out of the ground, but can you within the next 10 balls, so you're going to face 15 balls instead of 10, can you make a significant difference to get a cumulative score that's more or above or level with what it should be? We're just seeing that there's not quite that know-how, but given enough opportunity, to learn from that. But what you get with a Bethel, you still don't know, because it's a kid that's not played a lot of cricket. So it's not like you're getting somebody who's a tried and tested. So it's a personal opinion, and that is why the England selection panel have their job to do. And tonight, they absolutely got it right.
Monty Panesar with us once again here on talkSPORT 2 and here on the podcast as well. England with the bat. First of all, they batted out 20 overs, which they did just about do the other night, but they were all out from the final ball. But actually, they batted it out, and 171 for 9. We were saying that the average score batting first on this ground is 170 odd. It looked more like it today, didn't it? I'm trying to find a better word than that, but I'm struggling at the moment. But it just looked a bit more like it.
Yeah, look, I think in T20 it's about, momentum, and I think that partnership at the back end, between the 17th and the 20th over, England scored 44 runs for only 1 wicket, and suddenly, the team starts believing we got some runs on the board, and if we take early wickets in the power play, like they did, they took, 3 for 49 in 6 overs, their beliefs got up. They thought, yeah, we're in the game now. We just need to hold it tight. And Adil Rashid bowled that, magical delivery to Tilak Varma, and suddenly the whole team and the game just completely transformed. And then that was it. The methods that Brendan McCullum and Jos Butler had a vision about the fast bowlers. The reason they want to go that route and play that extra fast bowler, but guys who can bowl 90 plus. Today, everything executed. Everything went perfect. The catching was absolutely brilliant. And then, the methods during that middle over phase was really good. I think during the death overs was a difference, really, where they had India. India only scored like 38 runs, 4 wickets. The variation of the slower deliveries and then bowling them quick balls, the rockets, that Brendan McCullum often says, work to their plan, and I think this is the template now. This is a template going forward with this type of strategy to win, and that's what they've got to do now. They know how to win with playing one specialist spinner. I know Steve Harmison talked about maybe Jamie Overton being a place too high. Do they play that extra batsman? Then if they look to do that, then possibly Jamie Smith doesn't play, and then get Jacob Bethel to come in there and maybe Phil Salt to take the gloves, or Jos Butler. But that's a good option to have. They've got a few options to play with. But for England, it's really good to see that this is a strategy they wanted to go with, and they know how to win, and they just know what to do going forward.
So England put a score on the board that gave them something to bowl at, which is the first time they've done that this series. And bowl at it they did. And when you have a magician like Adil Rashid, you give yourself a chance. 4 overs, 1 for 15. He did get Tilak Varma with an absolute ripping leg break that went through the left-hander. That was 68 for 4 when he did that. But he wasn't hit for a boundary, and there were 10 dot balls in the 24 that he sent down. Adil has just been speaking with the TV company in India.
Yeah, I thought as a team we bowled exceptionally well to get the score on the board, and then as a unit we bowled exceptionally well. And obviously that ball, it just gripped, spun nicely, a ball in a nice area, and it just went through the gate. But I think as a unit we bowled exceptionally well there.
Yes, you certainly did, but just seeing your bowling, your craft, your deception, the way you bury your pace, it's not easy. For someone to get speeds from 80 to 70 in just one delivery. How hard have you had to work on that?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, as you play more and as you get more experience and you're working on your game, you start developing certain things. And I think that's probably one of my strengths, is trying to mix it up a bit slower, a bit quicker, and trying to really see the pitch and adjust to that. And last couple of games, it's gone my way. I work hard, obviously, in the nets and trying to keep working hard. So, yeah, hopefully I can continue on.
And what was your assessment of this pitch, and what did you have to do with that adjustment?
Obviously, I think you see when we were batting, it just looked fairly slow, a bit low, wasn't really coming onto the bat. So as a bowling unit, then we just had to adjust and see whether pace on or pace off worked. And fortunately for us today, we varied it quite well. Myself as well, we varied it well, and we got the result.
You take your batting seriously. That last wicket partnership, 24, crucial.
Yeah, obviously we had a couple of overs left as well. So me and Woody there at the end, we were just trying to see what the plan was, see if we could get the extra 15-20 runs, which we did. It was nice to get to that score as well. So I think overall we'll be quite happy.
Well, he will be very happy, and actually let's touch on that last wicket partnership, Adil Rashid and Mark Wood. They both got 10. They put a partnership of 24 on the board. If they get rolled out cheaply, then India are chasing round about 148, Well, they were 1-4-5 for 9. It's a very, very different game. But let's look. I've got two absolutely brilliant spin bowlers next to me, so let's talk spin about Adil Rashid. Gareth, I'm going to start with you because with your coach's hat on as well, Adil Rashid is just he does it all the time for England when they need it most. What a world-class performer he is, and has been for such a long period of time.
Yeah, and I think the thing to note is he's lost his mate. In Moeen Ali's not around anymore. They came as a pair for a very long time, and grew this England white ball team into a very fine team because you had two very good spinners, one that batted extremely well near the top, so they gave you flexibility. I think the loose sort of thing that Steve was talking about was Jamie Overton batting at 7, whatever, that would have been Moeen Ali, giving you that balance within the team. I think the balance has changed because it's subcontinent and it's not a spinner giving you that balance. It changes, which puts more pressure on Adil Rashid to perform. The fact he didn't go for a boundary in 24 balls against the team that is literally squeezing the glue out of their bat handle, trying to think about how they're going to hit you for 4 or 6, is almost borderline brilliance. It doesn't get much better than that. So numbers can tell you certain things, they can tell you a picture, but that number there tells you all you need to know about how good this guy is and how he manipulated the batters into position. And then from his point of view, his own little personal thing to get Tilak out how he did. He sort of opened up the gate, his back foot, yes, but then he drives it back into sort of middle and leg stump with that bit of shape, bit of drop, bit of curve, massive spin. Individually, that's a beautiful thing. And he'll be sat in his bed tonight thinking, that was a nice ball. But he mentioned in his interview at least 4 or 5 times about the team, about the group, about the unit. So important. You don't bowl as a 1, you bowl as a 5, you bowl as a 6. And I think England did that brilliantly. He led it as soon as he came onto ball because you needed his skill set. Without that, I don't think England win the game. So that's the big thing that he would take on. But he talked about the rest of the unit buying into the simplicity of the plans and executing very well. So I thought that was great from him.
Monty, when we're going to come and analyse Adil Rashid, he is going to be talked about down the years, and rightly so. What would be, do you think, his greatest quality, his greatest strength? Is it his control? Is it his ability to sort of get batsmen and batters to do things they don't want to? I mean, as an appreciation of a spinner, what is his greatest trait, do you think?
It's when he bowls it slowly. It's when he gets the ball above the eye line and he bowls at 75 kilometres per hour. And in that moment against, Akshar Patel, where he could have probably fired it in and looked to bowl dots, but he goes, no, I'm going to bowl it slower, come after me. And I thought that was a moment with, Washington Sundar, Akshar Patel, they should have come down the pitch and looked to hit big sixes, but they were afraid because they wasn't sure, to read the length. They couldn't really read the flight. And he has that courage now. He knows these sort of passages of play, the moments when to say, right, I'm going to bowl it slower, I'm going to bowl it higher, come after me. And it takes a lot of courage. Not many spinners in the world can do that. And we often talk about, the Rashid Khan, who bowls it quick into the pitch, is a safer method. But to bowl it slower and up and get it above the eye line, it is beautiful to watch. It's like poetry in motion, and it's just wonderful to see. He's going to be a key part now, obviously going forward. Come to the Champions Trophy and obviously, the ODI and everything. How India tackle him is going to be a big crucial on who wins and who doesn't. We often talk about the England batters, they don't do very well against the spin. But I think now it's like, with Jasprit Bumrah's 4 overs, it's the same thing. It's the Rashid 4 overs. How India play against him dictates the game of who wins, if England win or India win. But Adil Rashid, he is our Shane Warne.
Just answer me one question though, Monty. How is it that Adil Rashid has only ever played 3 games in the IPL? It defies belief. There's a theory going around, it's because of his Pakistan heritage. Well, Moeen Ali played a lot. That didn't seem to affect him. The other theory that does the round is, well, it's India. They produce a lot of their own spinners, therefore they can provide cheaper options than that. Well, they've got a lot of batters who could whack it around to all parts. Chris Gale still got picked up for however many years. So to me, those two, you can kind of put those forward as theories, but you can knock them down pretty easily. How on earth has an owner of an IPL team not gone, get me Adil Rashid. He's a difference maker. I don't get it.
Yeah, because I think overseas, the owners and the captains, coaches, they look for spinners who bowl it quick. They see if you put pace onto the ball, it gives less time for a batsman to make any decisions. They don't see actually bowling it slower as an attacking option. And I think, Adil Rashid should be playing in the IPL. And when the IPL owners see how good he is on Indian soil, I hope that maybe the following year he can get into the IPL and someone picks him up, because he is a brilliant spinner. The IPL will be better when he's in it, and just to see him when he goes about his craft, the way he just does the players, even the best in the world. There's not, we see Adam Zampa. He's another one. He bowls it a bit more quicker as well. I don't really see, Ravi Bishnoi is another one who similar to Adil Rashid. So they all, Rashid Khan. I think Adil Rashid is on his own, really. There's probably only him who bowls at 75 kilometres per hour, and then tries to sort of give that air, and bowl his leggies and googlies, and to do it because he knows he's on top, and he knows that they're not going to come after him. And it's just brilliant to see how well he's doing, and we want him to continue this form going for England.
Adil, we still love you, even if the IPL owners don't. He didn't get player of the match, by the way. Varun Chakaravarthy did get that. Second time he's taken 5 wickets in a T20 international. Second time he's been on the losing side. Do the maths yourself. I'll tell you what, let's hear from the Indian captain. Suryakumar Yadav has just been speaking with Harsha Bhogle.
Did you think, like a lot of us did, that maybe 171 was not a big enough target?
No, I felt there'll be a little bit of dew later on, and with Hardik and Aksar batting in later on at 24 balls, around 55-58 runs, we still had, I feel we still had game in our hands.
The approach was, tell us a little bit about the approach in the middle overs. Normally with 8 batters, you keep going, go, go, go. Suddenly it was what, 50 of 9 overs in the middle overs?
Yeah, I think our credit goes to Adil Bhai as well. I think he bowled really well in that overs. We wanted to rotate strike. He didn't let us. That's why he's a world-class bowler at that moment, and that's something to learn and to take it forward.
The numbers show that there was a little more spin here than in the other 2 matches.
That's why we had a lot of spinners in our side.
Yeah. So, what are the... Is this just another defeat? Is there something that bothers you about this game, or is this par for T20 cricket?
I feel you always learn something from a T20 game. I felt when we were bowling around 127 for 8 to 170, I think that was too much at the end. But yeah, that's something we can learn going forward. And also from batting point of view, we got a lot of things to learn. We'll go back to drawing board and see how we can be a better team.
Happy with the way Shami turned out after all these years?
I mean, it's good to see him bowl like that, and I'm obviously sure that he'll do better going forward in the game.
So what's your conversation with Varun Chakaravarthy going to be tonight?
Nothing, just be yourself. I think he's been one guy who's working really hard during all the practice sessions, and he's got good discipline, and that's the result he's getting on the ground.
On to Pune then, maybe a few more runs for the captain in Pune.
Really looking forward to it, yeah, definitely.
Suryakumar Yadav, I said the other day I'd quite like to hear him do an interview where he's not quite so happy. Well, they've lost today and he's still happy, so, maybe not. There was one little thing, before we hear from Jos Butler, which we'll be doing in the next couple of minutes or so, one potential, I suppose, minor fly in the ointment from an England point of view. Jamie Smith played today with a tight calf, so England decided that rather have him run around the outfield, he was going to keep wickets. He got to 3 overs and 4 balls before he went off. Gareth Batty, as his county coach, you've probably got a vested interest in this or something. Talk me through the theory, though, of keeping wicket being the better option than being in the outfield if you've got a tight calf, because everything's now stats-based and theory-based. So what would the thinking on that one be? Because I'm sure a lot of people are going, well, hang on, squatting up and down 120 times during an innings is potentially problematic.
It's not my theory.
OK.
So I don't really know where to go from there. Somebody obviously has done the medical assessment and said they're running around the ACT cells and D cells. So all the numbers that you're talking about would be ACT cells and D cell based. That is where you get your immediate fatigue and immediate soft tissue problem. So by keeping wicket, you can control the movement. The only accel you may have is if you've got a dive off whichever foot it was that was an issue, and I'm assuming in this instance it would have been left, so you're not going to have to dive down the leg side very often for it not to be too much of a drama. There's going to be no starting, stopping, accels, decels, and unfortunately the assessment or Jamie just felt like he was going to make it worse, and it might just be he's gone off because it's going to make it worse and stop now and nip it in the bud. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately.
Okay. Right then, we can hear from the England captain, Jos Butler, who's just also been speaking with Harsha.
Come along, Jos. Normally we do this conversation a little earlier. You must be delighted to be coming on now. You've got something going with pace in T20 cricket.
Yeah, the guys bowled really well. It's nice to show off their skills, not just how fast they can bowl, but how they can adapt to the wicket.
What about Adil Rashid? I mean, I was just talking to Suryakumar Yadav, singing praises of Adil Rashid. He's been around since the 2009, 2010 T20 World Cup. He just keeps getting better.
Yeah, he does. Said so many times he's the most important player in our team, and he bowled fantastic tonight. He's got so many variations, so many different styles of bowling, and yeah, we're very fortunate to have him on our team.
When you've got a champion cricketer like Jofra Archer, today was a completely different day. When you got one for 60, do you have conversations with him, or do you just say, no, I know what you can do, as he did today?
Yeah, no, I don't think you need to talk too much to Jofra. He's obviously he's a superstar. He's incredibly consistent. He's not very often he'll go for 60, so you know if he has, he'll come back well.
We were having some discussion about whether Ben Duckett's skills were used in the middle order. Jeez, he batted well today.
Yeah, he played beautifully. I think that's why the reason we feel he could bat at the top. You know, he's got so many options with only two guys out. He's a very difficult guy to stop. And I think from ball one of the game, the wicket probably looked a bit different than everyone had read it. And he played beautifully on what was a little bit of a sticky pitch.
Yeah, since you mentioned that, what were your thoughts at the break when you got 171?
Yeah, I thought actually when you could look at it and go, we lost wickets in clumps and we're disappointed, but actually we had 170 on the board, which is a really good score. So yeah, I think especially the way we started picking up those wickets is crucial in the power play, and then we managed to squeeze them and add a lot of pressure.
The clumps that you talked about, is that still a bit of a concern? You were down to 127 for 8. Is that something that bothers you?
No, not at all. No, I love the way that we kept taking the game on and keep pushing. And like I say, if you can be disappointed with how you played and end up with 170, I think that's a great effort. And actually credit to Adil and Mark Wood. I thought, putting on 20 there at the end was a vital partnership to go towards winning the game. And
that was the difference between the two sides. So the series is level. You keep saying the series is open. It is. Well played today.
Thank you.
Jos Butler in conversation with Harsha Bogli. Yes, the series is still open. It is still on. England might be 2-1 down, but there are 2 to come, and the 4th match is in Pune on Thursday. It will, of course, be exclusively live here on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel, so you can join us once again at 12:30 UK time for a 1:30 first ball. All the action. Can England back up today and get another win and give us an absolute gangbusters finish in Mumbai on Sunday? Well, join us and find out here on talkSPORT 2.